Do you think we need to reintroduce ourselves every pilot, or do you think we're just good to go?
We can do a cold open and then like be like, hey, this how's it going? We just watched that. That was awesome. I'm me or you.
I'm just gonna use that. I'm gonna use what you just said as the opening for this video. All right, let's go. Let's get into it.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
It's not a very sophisticated solution.
Oh.
Wow. Oh, somebody loved Portal. Much respect. Hell yeah.
That elevator should.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, oh. Oh my god, this is sick. Ah, this show is made for me. What the fuck? I'm immediately so emotionally invested in all three of them, dude.
I'm fascinated. I have thoughts. That was very good.
Final scatterbrain thoughts of having just watched it. Holy hell, I want so many episodes of this, please. Inject this directly into my veins. So I'm so happy that immediately the show just launches into making Frankie and Andy just so lovable, and immediately you're just like, these guys are so cute, and like little baby Andy and Frankie just being kids and just trying to cheat at a game to get the doll they want. And like setting up how, like, without words, you know exactly from their interaction with Gwen why they both got into the jobs or want to get into that industry. It's so much character building with so not little effort, like, but it looks so clean. It's so nice to just have it be like, yeah, no, this clicks of immediately. Of course, this little kid is going to want into that industry, seeing this. I guess I don't know how to describe Gwen, at least like flashback Gwen. Like
flashback
mythic
Gwen.
Figure almost.
Gwen to me is very representative of like a dream, and it's one of those things that you keep chasing, and not for Andy but definitely for Frankie. Frankie, Guinevere is a dream, and it's very literal and metaphorical about like when people should have something to live for, you know what I mean? And for Frankie, the thing she lives for is Guinevere, chasing that dream, that high, that feeling she had when she was a child. And it's very reminiscent of how, like, if you ever talk to like other artist kids, there's always some piece of media, there's always something that like sparked their interest in art. And even if it's ill-advised, even if people are like, oh, you know, like, you want to be a starving artist situation, there's something that motivated them or sparked them and their desire. Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. When you talk to a lot of art kids, you start to notice and see that, like, oh, there was some piece of media that motivated you to like chase this as a career field, to chase this as a dream. And I love that Andy really shows that, like, for Andy, I feel like the love is not there. The love is kind of either deeply buried or if not outright dead. Like, she's not buying the Kool-Aid like Frankie is in regards to like, oh, Park Planet and like how everything is all sweet and bubbly. She worked in that place. She knows what this place is about. She understands what awaits everyone. And it's like the old saying of like, you know how the sausage is made and it ruins something for you internally. And the dichotomy between Andy and Frankie, I think, is very fascinating, and it's made kind of sweeter by the fact that there's clearly like a deep affection there. I'm not entirely convinced it's romantic necessarily yet, but I'm also not against the idea, because two characters can be on screen and have it not be a romantic thing, you know what I mean? Frankie's
Yeah, I'm happy either way.
Yeah, Frankie's clearly lesbian, just like to me.
Yeah, this is not straight behavior.
this is not straight behavior. The way that Guinevere hustles or plays with Frankie's hair, I'm just like, oh, this is a young lesbian getting her like, oh, I have womanly feelings about other women, and like that's valid. And part of me wonders if Frankie has like confronted a little bit about what her dream is, because her dream is like, other characters call it out, where it's like, you're a corporate, you're doing all this, you're giving up your livelihood, you're giving up your ability to like make a better living, just what, to be a corporate stooge. You understand how foolish that sounds? And the reality of that answer is like, yes, it is incredibly foolish to give your all and everything over to a corporation just because that corporation has this IP, this thing that you love, and you should not let it define you. But also, I feel like Frankie's arc is not necessarily letting go of her dream necessarily, but I mean, sort of letting go. It's this idea of like letting go of like the material world in the sense of like chasing being an engineer for Park Planet maybe, but also secondarily it is not letting go of that whimsy. Like you can lose yourself. I think most people tend to lose themselves in the real world a lot of the time, where their sense of whimsy dies, and I don't think Frankie is a character that whimsy can die because Frankie is stubborn, and also I don't want her to lose that whimsy. To lose your whimsy, to lose that piece of yourself, I think that's a true tragedy. Like, don't get me wrong, everything underneath Park Planet is a legitimate tragedy, but sort of the death of innocence is kind of sad, and I like that there's an evolution here of like, not the death of innocence, but understanding that the world is not as bright and bubbly as you want or hope it to be, and instead of being in denial about it or being cynical about it, you opt for like this third option of, I choose to maintain my whimsy and acknowledge that the world is shit anyway. You know what I mean? And I think that's that's uncommon for a lot of people, and I think media in general. So I think that's a lovely answer to how do you cope with this world.
For me, that whole situation is very, I'm guessing intentionally reminiscent of like someone becoming an art student. It like, to me specifically, like going into animation, seeing everyone like haggard and tired as heck in industry, and yet still you want to go to school for it, you want to get into the industry. I'm not currently, but and like I see how much struggle there is to make it even when you've gotten in the door. And I still have the drive, like I still want to be a studio animator, storyboarder. Like I'm still like, I know there's a lot happening, but I still want to go for it. Like Frankie, I think definitely draws on that kind of person. I am projecting so much on Frankie, but yeah. Like the dreamer who they see everything going wrong. Frankie's not dumb. Like she sees how tired Andy is and how stressed, and still wants that job. Yeah. Like you're going for it no matter what. And like being like, I acknowledge being a dreamer like that. You're not looking at like, you understand that there's a lot of pitfalls, there's a lot of problems, and you still go for it even though you see them. You don't actually acknowledge. You're kind of rose tinted glasses about everything, and I really don't want Frankie to lose her whimsy and like passion for creating. I agree. I don't want it gone. Don't take it from us. Data Terrace, please. She's so cute. Don't hurt her. You're gonna hurt her, but don't hurt her.
Yeah. I suspect that, and this is a really interesting and really, so here's an easy writer setup that they did that I really appreciate, and it's gonna pay off. Even if I'm calling it out right now, it's gonna definitely pay off. So Andy as a character has lost all whimsy and sense at the beginning, in this very beginning, incredibly jaded, does not believe in the dream anymore now that she's on the other side. And then you have Frankie, who is like, oh, I believe in this thing, I'll get a black eye for this dream. And you know, the obvious setup that I'm describing is Frankie is gonna slowly get more like, she's gonna have like a darkest hour moment where she's gonna lose her whimsy, and Andy is gonna reignite the vibes of it. Basically, like Andy's gonna have her whimsy reignited, and then together they pull each other. Yeah, it's like that SpongeBob episode episode where SpongeBob and Squidward are delivering that pizza, and Squidward stands up for SpongeBob, and they help each. It's a really nice moment. They don't really get many more of those later in the series, but
Gwen is the pizza.
Gwen is literally the pizza, yeah, and it's cute. It's a good setup. The setup is lovely, and just because something is obvious does not mean it is bad. It is, everything has, in the words of one of my writing teachers, everything has been done before, but it's never been done by you before. And in that way, this is another iteration of something of, I don't know, like stories and animations past, and I think that's lovely. Not that that's the intention of what this is. I don't think they were thinking SpongeBob when they were creating this, but like I think the setup's lovely. I really fuck with it.
This was such a good first episode.
Oh,
Immediately launching into so many things without like, I don't feel overwhelmed by this. I don't know how someone's less of an animation head would feel, but I feel I was given so much to chew on. Not too much, just enough to be like, all right, I need so much more.
One of the things that I don't think other content creator people are ever going to talk about this pilot, but I'll talk about because I think it's neat, and I see you. I love the genuine tricks that they use to like cut things and stuff to save budget. Like, I respect a production that's incredibly smart with how it handles things. Like that right there, where Mr. Walt Disney Man comes in, compared to like the other animation shots where he's like fully bodily animated. This is him just talking. And the way I would describe it is, this feels like, the way that it's framed, it's meant to be off-putting. And the way they do it, where it's like the mouthing animation but nothing else is moving, that's like, oh, that's a little off-putting. It's like, yeah, that's the vibe, and they utilize that to their advantage here, and I'm like, that's smart from a storyboard animator perspective. But yeah, Andy and Frankie, they're very sweet, they're very lovely. The first shot of a story is arguably the most important in a story. Like your first chapter or your first sentence or something, it normally means something very profound. And I'm gonna be real, when we saw Olivia in like the hospital outfit and everything, like old woman in the bed, now that we have confirmation,
yeah,
truly this is what awaits all Disney adults at the end. Like you're an old ass woman in the body of a child. You've never grown, you've never developed, and both cautionary tale and deep middle finger, you know?
Yeah. I'm so curious what I forget the Park Planet guy's name. This the Olivia's father figure, I'm going to presume.
Yeah.
I really want to know what he meant when he was like, he's sorry for what happened. I'm like, what do you mean? What does that mean?
I feel like the easy setup answer is like, oh, hey, your mom's not with us anymore. Whether that means I got divorced or something else, you know, like probably died. And then he feels bad about it because he probably has some level of responsibility. Oh man, do you want to know something else I think is kind of sad and like maybe not intentional when they talk about this, but I do think about it a little bit?
What?
So any artist has probably experienced this. Doesn't matter if you're a writer, doesn't matter if you're a visual artist of any kind. Everyone has done this where it's like, you don't iterate. You know what I mean? Like some people, they'll draw a line and then they'll Control Z. Some people will rewrite the first chapter of a book over and over and over again because it never hits like the general goal or the feel. It'll never be as good as you want it to be in your head, and so you just keep iterating on the same thing over and over and over again, making literal micro changes every time, and changes that quite frankly a lot of the time probably do not actually matter. And I look at the kid, I think her name was Olivia, right?
Yeah.
Olivia has been doing nothing but making iterations on Guinevere this entire time, and there's something truly sad to me about an artist who never really gets to go beyond that in some kind of way, in the same way that like, because very clearly Olivia is written to be, you're a child, you've been mentally a child your entire life, and there's a lot you've never unpackaged, and that's noteworthy. But in the way that like she's never progressed beyond a child, in this way there's like a subtlety here about you've never progressed more as a person, you've never progressed more as an artist, you keep going back to this one thing. And I think part of growing, part of being an artist, part of developing your craft is that you just unironically keep moving forward. Not that it's easy to move forward all the time, but you don't get to there's something very sad about people who just never move on beyond certain stages of their life. And knowing Dana, not personally, but knowing Dana's like MO, Dana's very sympathetic towards the artists and the dreamers of the world, and I think there's a lot of sympathy being given to Olivia here, where it's like, you're probably a bad guy and you are deeply sad, but like, you're still a person who never got either a chance to grow or never willfully grew yourself as a human being, as a person, and that's truly sad.
If I had to guess, like, being kept in a gilded
Cage
bubble her whole life, yeah, cage bubble, whatever you want to call it, she was kept in a tower and like given whatever she wanted, but like it's being given candy versus vegetables, right? Like that does not make for someone who is well adjusted. Like that, it is. You could. It to me that's neglect. That not good. Parents who care about you will give you vegetables, and I think spiritually she was never given a single vegetable in her whole life.
No, she wasn't.
No.
Yeah. Which is another really interesting thing in, like, I'm not going to quote child psychology because I don't know child psychology very well, but I do know that, like, when we talk about things like neglect or we talk about things like abuse, people always imagine like something very physical, very visceral, very like, oh, Zuko's dad from Avatar like burned his face. That's just straight up abuse. But also Azula was abused. Like, there's something here that was clearly bad. And while it was not active abuse like it was with Zuko, it was clearly something very negative that is under the umbrella of abuse. And, you know, Mr. Walt Disney Man, Park Planet Man, he probably didn't mean to hurt his daughter in any capacity, but your job here, Tommy's hot take about parenting, even though he is not a parent himself, your job as a parent is not to just protect your child. Your job is to have your child discover who they are and proceed to help them flourish as that type of individual, like 9 times out of 10. And I think that second job is so much harder because the onus of responsibility about like, oh, you know, like whose job is it to like help you discover who you are? My answer is your parents. Your parents should, if you have an interest in like computers, like your parents should at least try to help you figure out something about computers. If you have an interest in ballet or piano or the guitar or whatever, like your parent should ideally help you discover that part of yourself. Because I think when you don't do that, when you are stuck in this impoverished state, both spiritually and in the physical reality, you almost lose the ability to garner that whimsy, that development as any individual. And it's very sad, it's very hard, and it's definitely not easy. Parenting is not easy. That's why nobody's having kids nowadays. But also, the fact that Frankie has maintained her sense of whimsy despite growing up in this type of environment, I am in awe. Honestly, that says a lot about her character and the experience she has. Also, is it just me or is like old dude with one eye, is he like, he initially he read a little bit like a father figure. Am I wrong? Am I crazy?
No, I was picking that up, especially when he was like, I can't give you special treatment, especially considering like you're you or something. I was like, did you raise Frankie? What is the connection here?
Yeah.
I was gonna say though that like it's telling of how casual our Disney stand-in dude, like Olivia's guardian guy, it's telling how casual he is about like the sorry about what happened a while back, but I'll give you a new one, I'll fix it. It's like, yeah, if that's your response to probably this horrible traumatic thing that happened to Olivia, judging by how lifeless her eyes are, then yeah, Olivia never had a shot at becoming so well-adjusted. Like, I do feel for that. Also, can I just say, it's amazing how much we are picking up, like, Dana Terrace and the other 2 writers from the Owl House. I'm so sorry, I will names. But the direction here, like it's so clean. There's so much in here without being. I'm so happy I'm not being fed information. I can just pick it up. I'm so tired of having shows spell things out for me or just never do the proper introduction to concepts. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The show is very clearly made for like at youngest a teen mental audience. On average, probably like, yeah, this is made for people who are like young adults. This gives that vibe. So they don't talk down to you. They don't treat you like, oh, hey, we don't have to explain the concept of a Disney World to you or an amusement park or anything. We know you're a person. We expect you to know this. And if you don't, well, you can pick it up.
I'd argue that most adult animation does not do a very good job of like talking to its audience as if they are competent.
Yeah.
I really feel like most of the time they don't succeed in that regards.
First, I wanted to go back to this part because I think it's funny. We have deep thoughts and also timing. This looks like the guy that Ariel falls in love with. I don't remember his name because I never watched Little Mermaid.
Eric.
Is it really? It can't be Eric.
Yes.
God damn it. All right.
Dude, I watched Disney. I was raised by Disney movies, okay? Like, my parents, my mom was very busy when I was a child, and it just be like that in this day and age where you let the TV babysit you a little bit, and it's fine. Blink, blink.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've watched all the Disney classics and then some, so I'm picking up what this is putting down for all the references.
Yeah. I will say, I also do like the presentation of like passive, what is basically like normalized addiction. Like everyone here is smoking what is basically a kazoo and presumably like some type of blue. Look.
God, everyone is vaping the ooze.
Yeah, it's like Guinevere's blood and Guinevere's lifeline, which is in of itself probably commentary. Warning.
Oh, it's definitely
choking hazard.
commentary.
Yeah. Warning, choking hazard. Ugh. Okay, here it is. The live action remake. No one's asked for it, so we're making it. The princess can save herself and just wait. We do not need medicine to heal. This is straight ass. Park Planet needs to learn anatomy. Being in industry and having people criticize your work, even though you also are like, I didn't ask to make this, but also I kind of have to make this. That's really funny.
Parents shocked newborn babies born blue. Okay.
Oh. Oh. I was gonna say like, I know they're showing like the casual passive like addiction and stuff where people are clearly inhaling vapors, babies are being born blue. Do you think they're gonna show like, I wonder if that's gonna play a plot at any point, or if they're just showing that like, no, like capitalism literally encroaches and enters everyone. It's not good. This is the microplastics, guys. We should really stop. But currently, and maybe they'll talk about it later episodes where they're like, yeah, no. So now we're gonna show like the actual health detriments, because right now they're doing like, you know how anime wants to show like a person is sick, so they'll just cough up like a couple drops of blood. It's like that right now, and I'm like, okay, now, but what are the actual effects gonna be?
It's definitely going to play a part within this season. Like, I imagine heavily they're setting.
Okay.
These guys know what they're doing.
Blue lung insurance? Love that.
So it's kind of like a combo of like miner's lung and just like smoking and stuff.
Yeah. Interesting. So hang on. Do you remember Wall-E? And Wall-E did this very briefly where they were showing babies being literally indoctrinated into capitalism and being nothing but consumers.
Oh, are you looking at like their armbands?
Yeah, they're being trained to be literal Disney adults.
I mean, this is kind of giving like school uniform type of thing for me. I've seen people who go to Montessori school have like just like white shirt like that.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, or like Catholic school where you get a white shirt and slacks and you're good to go. That's your uniform. I didn't go to that kind of Catholic school setup. I got to wear black hoodie all the way.
Yeah, not my personal experience. So I was just under the assumption that was like, oh, are they literally being early indoctrinated into capitalism?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Also secondarily, and this is kind of like a bloodline thing, not bloodline, bloodline's a weird word, but it's in the DNA. For those of you who don't know, the purpose of Disney TV animation for a very long time and is basically that they want to indoctrinate, and I say indoctrinate with like not trying to be overly malicious about it. They want to keep having a new generation of basically Disney consumers. That is the purpose of Disney TV animation. It's also why for a very long time Disney TV animation was kind of not really looked at. Like if you look at a lot of old Disney TV animation shows, old quote unquote, out.
Withers on the vine.
Yeah, there's a lot more like crazy stuff and more creatively open stuff because respectfully Disney corporate did not care as much about it at the time. That's also why their budget was typically lower and stuff, because Disney focused way more heavily on their theme parks and more on their movie features. And there's something very interesting about that sort of sentiment about like, oh yeah, no, we don't care as much, until they did, which is what led to like the Owl House situation. But secondarily, there's like a through line between Disney TV Animation's goal of indoctrinating young people and then this also being presented forward. You know what I mean? Like Frankie and Andy are clearly children who are clearly like, yeah, we like this massive conglomerate and stuff when they're kids, and Frankie still buys into it as an adult. And I think it's really interesting. Like, look at this. The top sword is broken, but the shield is intact. But the bottom one is like, the shield is broken, but the sword is intact. And that's fascinating. I don't know what that means, but that means something. All art means something at its best, and Dana Terrace is cooking with her team. This is not made by amateurs. This is not made just to reference. This is saying something symbolically.
Yeah, I'm really eager to find out like who represents what in this one.
Yeah. Also, as like, I'll say this, as a poor kid growing up, like, there's something very cool about artists who aren't anal about this, and I appreciate them so much more for it, especially in the professional space, where it's like, because some people in this industry will give you a lot of shit for pirating and stuff, because they're like, well, we went the right way, we did it the right way, and you know, such and such. And there's a sentiment about fairness there, but respectfully, talking to a kid about pirating, you know, it's like, hey kid, do you have money for Netflix? No, then you don't get to watch. And it's like, the kid can't do anything about that. This is a child. They can't work, or they should at least not work as much as, you know,
yeah, they should not be working.
They should not be working, because that's a dystopia right there. And there's something very sweet to me about this, like even this act, like this act of hacking into like this crane machine to get a plushie because they want it or Frankie wants it. Like, that's a really sweet sentiment and showcase of like young youth rebellion / like, hey, we're not going to judge kids who were too broke or too poor to play this game fairly. Also, the game is cheating anyway, you know, because crane machines are famously dog shit at being fair. And there's like a subtle nod about, yeah, the system is unfair, so cheat the system. Fuck them. And you know, I
do think it's definitely like foreshadowing that they can't beat the system.
No, they can try their best.
Even when they do cheat, yeah.
Even when they cheat, even when they try their best, they can't beat the system. But they're gonna walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
They do a really good job of selling just like, I don't know, when I was a kid, like if I had met like Sleeping Beauty in person at like a theme park, dude, the way I would be exactly doing this, where I'm like, oh, like the awe.
Yeah, many years later.
They capture that so well.
Yeah.
Like, I've never been to a Disney park or anything, but I imagine that's how that would go.
I went once because a friend had an extra ticket, which is crazy, I know. And then I got to experience it, and it's a lot of walking. It is so much walking. It is so hot. It is.
Look at you,
so many
Mr.
people.
Privilege.
I lied to my parents and said I was going to a wedding for business, and then they were like, "Yeah, all right." And I was like, "Cool."
Amazing.
Yeah. Twitch and Frog. This is fun and also subtle, sort of, but like, you notice the frog had like yellow goo inside of it?
It does. Huh.
You think that's like a replacement or something else going on about like the lifeline, like replacing blue blood with something else entirely?
It could be.
Hmm.
It could also be like, we could be reading too much into it, but I think you might be onto something. I don't know.
Yeah, I appreciate you. All right.
Well, you were correct about a few things before where I was like, I don't know, man. Yeah, you got it. So.
Yeah, I see it.
The little tongue. Ah.
Fucking love Frankie.
I love that they can read each other so well. It's so good for. I love when people use visual comedy.
Yeah, that's something I will admit. Very big weakness in a lot of screenwriting stuff, when you're writing a script, it's very hard to write Frankie makes a face and have it be actually conveyed. It's like you have to describe the type of face, and that's
A little blip.
yeah. When you go to like the micro expressions, it's very hard to get that down, and it's only when you are working collaboratively with the team. I don't know what Glitch's production is, but I do know this about professional productions. Typically the writers are separated from the artists, which means that there's less collaboration, there's less communication about micro expressions. So sometimes things do have to get spelled out a little bit more obviously through dialogue, which can make the experience feel a little cheapened as a result. And that little micro expression, this feels like there is more collaboration between artist and writer space, which means
Dana Terrace was in there with the you know.
She's show running, which means she gets to jump into both territories, like the house they live in. This is so interesting. What does it mean?
Just living in Gwen's head.
They're living in Gwen's head, both metaphorically and literally, but I do think there's something very funny about it, where it's like, because when I look at this, and I don't know if anyone else who's watching this will also get this, I get a little bit of like Steven Universe's house is like at the base of a statue of like a giant woman. And this is kind of the inverse of that, where it's like an upside down woman's head. You know what I mean? Also, very interesting, and I maybe called it out earlier, but I'm gonna call it out again. When Frankie opens up the bottle, she's not using the right eye that everyone else seems to be fucked with. She's using her left eye, and that's fascinating. What's the deal with that?
That freaked me out. Like, what are you doing? Everyone's left eye is getting messed up real bad.
Yeah, her eye, she was doing it the other side, which means something. I don't know what it means, but it means something.
The stage left eye. I guess it would be the right eye.
Yeah. Every time I watch a show, it's literally just like, this means something. I don't know what, but it means something.
Even her eyelids are strong. I don't know.
Skill issue? Don't do this. Don't do that in reality, kids. It will hurt your eye. Please don't do that.
I honestly, I was trying to squint to see if I could somehow. I don't have a bottle with me, and I don't. Oh, I also don't like doing dishes. Have dishwasher, please. No. I need gloves.
I think it's sweet that Andy's clearly the responsible one in this group, but also just, you gotta have that whimsy. I like the cat with the guns.
They seem both responsible, but Andy definitely seems like traditional adult responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely the more responsible of the two, but like, I guess maybe I'm used to characters either being like super responsible or absolute children about it, where Frankie is like clearly a functioning person of adult age, but is also very much a Disney adult.
Yeah. Other thing I want to comment about this, because it is good, or well, good may be a weird word. There is not a single male character in this show who seems like a positive, friendly figure to any woman in the show. And I'm like, I wonder what they're saying there. And it's like, I don't need to know. I know what they're saying. I get it.
I just know there's gonna be like a bunch of videos. It's gonna be like people who are so up in arms about that. And it's like, welcome to what the women deal with, where there's like one woman in the show and she's like the villain.
Yeah.
And hot.
I'm sure it's okay. Look, after K-pop Demon Hunters and I saw how many people were thirsting for Bobby, I'm sure Walt Disney is someone's type in this show.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Side note, that huge speaking of
going back.
The huge robot, oh my god, that was so cool, and I'm a little bit abnormal about it.
Oh, the Claymore robot. Okay.
Yeah, Claymore robot, not sad disturbing dragon head.
I was like, you have the hots for melting Barney? All right.
No.
No.
The one that Prosy D was voicing.
Yeah. Oh, Prosy D was voicing Claymore robot too?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. I didn't pick up on that.
There's a little eye in that star. Again.
In the what?
To the stage left of Frankie,
yeah.
right there on the star.
Yeah.
I keep seeing those.
There's so many like artists in Hollywood that have like an eye motif that they like to go back to. James Gunn has it, Dana Terrace has it. I'm just like, I know the eyes mean something, but it's like interesting that this is the common motif.
Just can't do it without you.
We love our essential workers. Now get back to work
pouring
and
the oil
yeah.
into the dolls.
into the dolls. You
These
know what I
dolls can
want?
fit so much lead in them.
Yeah. I do want to say, because I had like a sort of incident with this. When I was in college, I was in a raffle winning for like a new TV and stuff, and I did not win, unfortunately. But I did get a hat. And when I put on the hat, it was from like this computer company who I will not name because I don't want potential lawsuits. The hat literally gave me like a rash, like on top of my head.
Oh.
It was really itchy, and I immediately discarded the hat. And I don't know, because I feel like most people, whenever they see a plushie, they're not thinking, oh, this will cause harm. It's like, yeah, no, it will potentially cause harm. And we don't think about it like that because it's a fucking plushie. But like, you know, the harm is real. It can
Yeah,
happen.
it's made with a bunch of chemicals. So.
Yeah.
Also, tell me the computer company we're done. I'm scared.
Oh, look at this. Starpup says, your safety, your responsibility. So you can't sue us.
And she has to load it?
Yeah, she's on an extreme time crunch.
She's doing like 3 people's jobs, man.
Every corporation is
She's-
run like this. And that's
Yeah.
that's not a joke, by the way. Most publicly traded companies who like make a lot of money, part of the things that they do is like almost every job is run basically on a skeleton crew where they're running on just barely enough people to do it. And in the event that someone gets sick or there's a hiccup or somebody can't do the job, like everyone else has to pick up their slack, and it's a lot of work. And technically people can do it, but it's also like this would not be a problem if we had more hands on deck to handle the blunt of the issue. And that's not capitalism's concern. Capitalism's concern is about milking as much effort out of you as humanly possible, and that sucks.
You don't have to tell me. I was a cashier in retail. There was 2 of us if I was lucky.
He's on a raft. Gator
What is a
shipping.
raft but a blow-up mattress?
Oh god, poverty be real.
I've actually done that before.
He has the
I was
word
camping.
he has the word zero like tattooed on his hand.
Honestly, the way that this guy's mentality is fascinating, where like he knows the system is shit, but he clearly also chip on it about feeling worthless, and he doesn't understand when someone doesn't know their place. I think that's a very good kind of character for Frankie and Andy to be against.
Yeah.
Also, I need to get that code thing beside him.
The code? Oh, the QR code.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I want that.
It's part of the Knights of Guinevere ARG. There's something, and I don't think this is going to be commentary or anything, but I choose to read into it. A lot of young boys also like capitalism and patriarchy has so many victims in it, and dudes are victims of patriarchy. I'm not gonna deny or defend any of it because they're both victims and perpetrators. And in the case of like this guy, he's giving me the vibe of someone who had his dreams beaten out of him a long time ago. And not saying this is his intent or anything, or even what they're referencing, but like, you ever see like that argument that people make about like, oh, you know, like I paid for my own college, so other people should also do the same. And people joke about that being the equivalent of like, my grandma died of cancer, why should your grandma get to live through cancer? And in that way, I think a lot of young boys who never grow up sort of carry that with them to adulthood, where they're like, I had a shit life, I had the dreams beaten out of me, I will beat the dreams out of other people as well because they don't deserve it. And that is sad. That's like notably sad. And he's giving me someone who has like the same thing. And again, the whole thing with eyes, like Odin famously had one of his eyes lost for knowledge and stuff, and this guy is lacking an eye, and he's like, I know the truth of the real world, and the real world shit, and it's like, great, now how do we make it better?
And much like Odin, this guy is a weak bitch.
Is that a God of War reference?
No, it's just an Odin. I do not like him.
Fair.
I think he was pompous before God of War got to him.
Gotcha. Very fair.
Am I biased because I'm a Loki stan? Maybe. Also, wild, we're just casually, he took out her teeth, dude.
Yeah.
Like, yes, abusive mob boss father figure. Love. How are you this chipper? Andy's doing a lot of legwork for making Frankie be sane.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. If I had a nickel for every time there's like a mob boss father from Glitch, I'd have at least 2 nickels. I also think it's really funny that the cigarettes or the vapes do look. I know that they're meant to be vapes or like whatever. I look at them.
E-cigarettes.
E-cigarettes. I look at them and I think they look like a kazoo, but that's me.
Oh god, his facial expressions.
He's
They're so good.
He's very animated. Frankie's very cute. I fuck with Frankie.
They give us a little bit more to love about Frankie here than, like, we don't get as much time with Andy, but I think that will change.
I think Frankie makes the most sense as, like, respectfully the main POV character of this show, because I think, did you ever hear the story about Zootopia and like how they had to rewrite it several times?
Yeah, they added Nick, I believe.
No, they added Judy.
Oh,
Basically,
yeah.
when Nick was the main character in the original version of it, the story got too dark and people got very uncomfortable with his presentation, and it made it harder for them to want to sit through it. So they invented Judy, so that, like, because Judy's more chipper, is more optimistic, more happy-go-lucky, and as a result of that, that is more easy for audiences to digest and sit with a little bit. And that's real, because no one wants to be around the cynic and the negative Nancy all the time, especially as your main lead. And so you offset it a little bit by giving like someone who's more chipper, more happy. I'm not saying like that's what's happening with Frankie, where like Frankie was invented to be this way, but it makes sense for audience ease of like entry of your main character is like easier and more affable to like engage with, you know?
Yeah, the character of the trope of the dreamer who, despite all odds, is really optimistic. That's something that works really well.
Yeah.
With all of anime is just like you have someone who's crazy enough to be happy in this dismal place.
Believe it. Naruto. I'm so curious about this frog because I feel like it's important.
Again with the crane game, she got the doll.
She got the goal. Oh, I didn't even notice that. That's good. That's really good, actually. You know, when Guinevere was taking down the big Claymore robot man, I was, in my head, I was envisioning like Jace, or not Jace, I was imagining Victor from Arcane, like his weird robots, you know? Like, I imagine that's how Guinevere moves and stuff. I highly suspect at some point in the series we will get like an insane action scene and everything, and I look forward to that. I look forward to seeing Guinevere body horror insane action, actually.
I need everyone to buy so much merch for this show. That is absolutely gorgeous looking.
I mean, the middle finger is the one that's moving, which is interesting.
Gwen's just in there. It's like, I wonder how like aware she is, so it'd be really funny if she came off.
Yeah.
So we have that portrait of Disney guy with old like a woman and a black-haired version of
Olivia. Yeah.
And I wonder who that is. Is it Olivia and she got like the anime shock of white hair treatment, or like who this?
I have random theories. My current funny one in my head is like, what if this portrait is actually Olivia's daughter and stuff, and the daughter has just never come to see her, has forsaken all of this, and Olivia just as an old woman, because I think it's way sadder if someone has a kid and your kid just never wants to talk to you, you know?
That is good drama.
Yeah. But I don't know if we have the space to tackle something like this, let alone if they even want to.
I want to acknowledge the Jesus halo around the child.
Oh, is that what that is?
I don't think it's it's commonly a halo around saints and holy figures in the Christian church. Like whenever you see art depicting someone who has been canonized as a saint, or like Mary or Jesus, they will have some kind of halo around them.
And who says religious trauma and education is good for nothing?
I mean, it's good for literary analysis and not much else.
Yeah, fair.
That's about it. Also, I like that the IV bags are like bullets. I think that's hilarious.
It's hilarious and also deeply sad from a like, oh, you're still being infantilized even into your old age. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're right, but also if I had to have an IV,
yeah, you would want it to
look
be
like a
like
silly
cute
balloon.
and yeah. Okay, so random small tangent. Did you know the Red Cross hates it when media uses its plus sign as like health and stuff? Like they went into the games industry about it and they're like, you please change it. We don't want this. Actually, it's kind of demeaning, and it's like everyone looks at this symbol and they know, oh, health, recovery, go to that. And I just wanted to
That's
have
not
a tangent
demeaning.
about that.
It's just very clear.
Yeah, no, but I don't remember what the exact wording is or anything, but I remember it happening in like video games, and I was like, what are you on about?
So, going back to this portrait, knowing the line that he said in the beginning, where it was like the thing that happened, that portrait, she still has that portrait. This is something that, hold on, I guess, is it the same portrait we saw above her bed in the beginning? I believe it is.
Let's go back. Oh, it
Yeah.
is. Okay.
But the figure
It's upside
is
down.
missing. Well, we see the girl, but we don't see...
Yeah.
Okay, so this has
been here a while.
So that is, I'm guessing that's Olivia, the black hair.
Yeah.
So that portrait means a lot to Olivia, and we don't get to see that woman's head.
It's, I think, okay, so if I'm gonna read into this, I will say the narrative reason why the woman's head is never shown, who is very probably, presumably, Olivia's mother figure, is because Olivia doesn't perceive that person as like the mom figure. She perceives that to probably be Guinevere. You know what I mean? Like,
Guinevere is definitely a stand-in. If she doesn't look exactly like her, she definitely is after her.
yes. And as a result of that, we never get to see mommy in this regard because it would be obvious. It would spoil like narratively main motivations. Why is Olivia like this? Why is she so strung up about this version, like this specific android of Guinevere? And the reality is because that's probably the one that takes the most after her mom. And maybe I'm also reading into this, the giant Claymore robot. The fact that you said it was voiced by ProZD and I didn't catch that, it now being voiced by ProZD means to me that probably some part of Walt Disney is in there and stuff, or modeled after his brainwaves or something, or his voice, or like there's a lot.
He had a port on his head, right? So he clearly had some cybernetics. Surprise me if like AI is a theme here, where like they scanned his brain or something.
Maybe. Moment of appreciation. The abject, how to make, the internet has been on this craze for a hot minute, and I blame Five Nights at Freddy's, really just taking anything from childhood and giving it like a scary, horrific veneer. It's been going on for a while, and the true is same here. This is horrifying. I don't like this. This is bad.
I mean, do you ever have a Furby? Those things were terrifying in the middle of the night.
That thing in Mitchell's versus the Machines?
Yes.
Okay.
I had exactly one Furby, and it horrified my whole family. That Furby, I think it's still somewhere in the house, and hopefully its batteries are dead. That's gonna bother me.
That's a Toy Story horror movie right there. The Furby that never dies.
God.
I wish technology worked like the way it does in bad cop shows, where it's like, oh, enhance, enhance, fucking redigitize, enhance, and then we just get to see like the clear visual image. That would be great.
Oh my god. Hold on, can we pause here?
Yeah.
I really love the characterization of Olivia without having to really have her tantrums on screen, because we see the food flung around. We see like the smears on the walls and pillars. We see that she is very temperamental, and it lends a lot of credence to her having never properly grown up, because she's been pampered her whole life and never given like an ounce of socialization to be an actual adult.
Them, Elon
Like,
Musk?
everything is
What?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Don't do Olivia dirty like that. She at least has drip.
Yeah. Interesting that the sun is also fractured already behind the mask.
Sun is on the side of the portrait with the father, and is on the side of
A mother. Interesting.
I wonder if they're both voiced by ProZD, or we'll have like a Gwen voiced one.
Literally after Young Justice, I can never trust the voice acting situation ever again, because in Young Justice, and I'm gonna give a little bit of props to a show that is not this, Young Justice has like a cloning plotline, and part of it is the voice actors voicing the same characters, both from, I assume, a budgetary perspective, but also from like a plot perspective. So when you find out that one character is a clone of another character, you're like, oh my god, god, what? And then you find out they're voiced by the same voice actor, and you're like, okay, that's sick, actually. That's really great meta foreshadowing, hinting, plotting, whatever. And I am now looking at Big Claymore Sun Man, and I'm just like, are you in there, Walt Disney? Is your spirit in there? What's going on? Or did they just need a monster voice? And ProZD does good monster voices.
He does. God, he has so much range. Bless that man. But like, if Gwen has one consciousness throughout all her bodies, then it stands to reason that they could do the same for another AI.
Yeah. I'm not entirely fully convinced that it's less different consciousness, and I think it's more like Guinevere has true conscience. Like Guinevere has reached true AI, as in like a truly artificial intelligent being who can transcend her mortal shell, basically. And we enter, like, she has access to the mainframe. Like, she can view the camera, she can look through everyone else's eyes, but she can't, like, it's just her. It's not different copies of her that are existing necessarily. It's her being able to access everyone else's situation. You know what I mean? She's hacking into the network, but she herself is both part of the network and also independent of the network. Maybe I'm wrong. Probably I'm wrong.
You could be more spot on than you realize. You were pretty good with predictions before.
Yeah.
I will say though, I think thematically it would be very, like, knowing that ProZD voices at least one of those robots, and like going on the assumption that it is at least some sort of scan of the father guy. I think it would be highly thematically appropriate for Gwen to have also been a scan, and for the original personality of that person to be finally surfacing.
They're doing a pantheon with this, where the mother's brain has been scanned into the original Guinevere.
Could be.
Yeah, true. God, I can never remember the discussion between cyborgs, androids, robots, and stuff. Like, there's a sliding scale about human to robot ratios or something, and I can never remember. But
so cyborg meat with robot attachments, android robot made to look like human.
Okay, all right.
And then robot is very umbrella term.
Okay. What about robot body but human brain?
Robot body but human brain. That's basically just like a really like 99% cyborg.
All right, fair enough.
Because you still got meat brain.
Literally not a single good man in any of this entire show. Every masked character is just, you're bad, actually.
Not the blue lung ad in the background.
Oh, insurance. Don't you love insurance? Don't you love this predatory, horrific thing?
Can't wait to see all the Gwens at cons now.
See, this dress specifically, and I thought about this during the first watch through, where I was like, this looks the most like a wedding dress. Like, and in a way it is like, it's a little bit of a cliche, but I'm fine with it.
It's very ball gown.
Yeah, I point this out where it's like, because now if we are under if we were working on the presumption that Guinevere is like a scan or like modeled after Walt Disney's ex-wife, or now deceased wife, it makes him making Guinevere, theoretically, because now we know Guinevere existed before Olivia situation, which it kind of implies like he's a very tragic figure, where this is a man who lost his wife and now no longer knows how to, like, he's in a state of mourning but also has to be a venture capitalist of industry, and that both, I mean, first off, being a venture capitalist of industry sucks, and secondly, it makes him more sympathetic, which I think is about, respectfully, probably more than he deserves.
I don't know that he's all that sympathetic, because like if you look at something like Epithet Erased, where the gone and the children are left to suffer with a very delusional head in the clouds idea type of dad.
Yeah,
I don't feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for Epithet Erased dad at all.
I don't feel bad. I'm pointing it out from a perspective of like, it makes him a more sympathetic character. Like,
yeah,
it explains his motivations so that audiences are like, why would he do this? And it's like, it's his ex-wife who died, and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
He doesn't really, from what I've seen of his vague interactions, like, he does not bat an eye about the abuse of Gwen at all. And you would think that he would if he was attached in a way that denotes any kind of romantic affection.
True.
But I don't know. Every man in this show has proven to be nothing but a shitbag, so I have no idea.
Fair.
I have no idea what that means.
Looking at it, and I do think it is maybe deeply sad because look, this is one of the main themes of this is this idea of eyes and image and presentation, and I think it's very telling that Guinevere's first act that we see on screen that she chooses to do is literally like glitch the hell out and then jumps over the balcony and basically does an attempted suicide. And you know, from a TV production perspective, it's like plausible deniability. This is a robot. This doesn't mean anything. And I'm just like, ProZD, did your, or sorry, not ProZD, Walt Disney man, because ProZD seems like a good husband.
Seems like a very sweet guy.
Yeah, Walt Disney, did your wife respectfully self? I will probably bleep that out. And
I don't know much about his like immediate family.
I also don't know. I'm just making like, I'm only judging based on this show and what has been immediately presented to us. And my, have you had this experience more than once, Mr. Walt Disney? And if so, how many times?
I mean,
and if so, from the original source too? Question mark.
Like, Olivia keeps saying that she needs to fix her again. Oh, I don't like the way you said that.
The fixing thing. I don't know, because obviously we can't guess literally every single inspiration that passes through every creative's head in the show. But one of the things that I think about is BoJack Horseman has an episode later, like super down the line, where we get to see inside the head of like Beatrice, who is BoJack's mother, and
lobotomy mom. No.
Lobotomy mom. And the way that that was presented is like, oh, your mother is going through depression. She's hysterical, so she needs to be lobotomized so that she will no longer be hysterical, because that's just how the times were. And while this is taking place in what is very clearly some dystopian future, part of me wonders if it's like carrying that same sentiment that is being referenced and brought forth and stuff.
Yeah, why is the mom dead, Mr. Disney? Why? What happened? What'd you do? Unless, of course, she was like patient zero for long or something, maybe. Maybe she was like a scientist.
Ooh, that would make sense, and that also sucks. Every day I think about like Odd from BoJack Horseman and how he says, isn't the point of art less what you put into it and what other people get out of it? And I'm just like, never truer words, Aaron Paul, Todd. I love you. I can't wait for your game Dispatch to come out later. Non-sponsored, by the way. But yeah. Okay, I will say this.
Oh.
I would buy these stickers. Like, if they made them stickers, I would buy these.
Oh, pin cushion, Gwen.
I like gear icon Gwen. This is very cute.
Black and white, Gwen.
OG cartoony Gwen. Oh, the mouse ears.
Unsubtle.
Unsubtle.
Oh my god, the compositing team. I love you forever.
I truly do wonder this. How many Disney princesses do you think were someone's gay awakening?
Oh, well, at least one. Blink, blink.
So
Forever changed my Mulan.
Fair. I really appreciate this specifically because we're watching this from Frankie's perspective, and this is very nice, and it's not subtle, but it is nice, where it's like Frankie's world is so colorful, it's so bright and vibrant and everything, and she's literally not screwing anything, but she's contemplating about how to fix Guinevere. And right now she's talking to like cute chibi like Disney type cartoon creatures and everything, and that's super cool. Or like it shows her world. It shows her world is very vibrant. Oh my god, well, it's approaching. Little Guinevere is approaching.
Approaches.
Foreshadowing, question mark? But the fact that like this is all in Frankie's imagination, like Frankie's world is so much more bright and vibrant and more livable than the real world is. And there are people who say that like you should grow up and live in the real world and everything. Live action Lilo and Stitch. And
Speak not that pretender's name. Disgusting.
And in relation to that, I see this and I just think to myself, like your dreams help you survive. Like Frankie is literally living off her dreams. And while her dreams are based off of one maniacal man's desire for, I don't know, fix his family and save his daughter, I don't know. Like all that stuff it gave Frankie whimsy, it gave Frankie hope, and it gave Frankie whimsy. Does it make the world a better place? Hell no. The real world is still a shit show, but the thing it did give Frankie is helping her survive, and I think that's very noteworthy about it's noteworthy against the argument about like people should grow up, and it's like growing up again does not mean abandoning what helped shape you or what you held dear, but it is acknowledging the world outside of yourself and choosing to hold on to that sense of whimsy anyway. And also, you know, seeing something for what it is. Like, I suspect when Frankie has her darkest hour, we are going to see Frankie's world literally lose color, become so desaturated and dark and horrific. And who's gonna light up that world? Andy!
Yippee!
Yippee!
The power of roommates, and they were roommates.
And they were good friends. Anyway.
But it is such a mood to have media that, like, you don't grow up understanding all the ins and outs of like how it was made. You just see that it's beautiful and it distracts you from your bad home life of having your father figure take your teeth out for disobeying you. Jesus.
Andy picking up the toys symbolically and putting them not throwing them away, but putting them aside to make sure that they're not hurt or damaged, I think is sweet.
I do wonder about like the coding for Frankie, and it's like I don't want to make any assumptions. I have ADHD for surezies. A lot of ADHD coincides with autistic traits. So long story short, I don't know whether I have autism, but I do know a lot of people with it, and Frankie be hitting some of those notes. So I wonder if there's some kind of coding there.
I would not be surprised. I also do think it's funny you say that because this is a random statistic in my head. I think there's like some type of study that was out there where it was like, yeah, you know, like in most career fields and most normal distributions, you would assume based on a general population that in every field there's some percentage of people who have like ADHD, autism, some type of neurodivergency, and it's like, yeah, no, those people exist in a very small percentage across like all industries, from finance to science to like archaeology. I don't know why I said archaeology, like it's a whole.
What's the percentage in art, Tommy?
It's incredibly fucking high, dude. It's incredibly
I'm so
high.
shocked. Wow. Wow.
In the arts, there's a lot of neurodivergent folk, and there's like a not insignificant overlap between autism and ADHD. So it would not surprise me if Frankie was written and or coded as such, or very more plausibly realistically. So in King of the Hill, a lot of people make the judgment call that like Hank Hill is like autistic. But I don't remember if this was from King of the Hill or someone else said it, but it was like, yeah, I wasn't going out of my way to write autism. I was going out of my way to write my father. And then it was like, interesting that you say that. And I wonder if Frankie was either written intentionally to be this kind of way, or if they were like, no, I was basing it off my friend, who I guess is also autistic. Crap, did I accidentally do, not crap, but like, shoot, did I do like good autism rep by accident by basing it off my friend? And the answer is maybe. Write what you know, write the people you know, and you will end up writing hilarious amounts of representation very well, actually.
I was 27 when I finally figured out I should go get like medication for my ADHD. It is highly, there are a bunch of people walking around not knowing what they got going on.
Yeah, I can't say for Canada, but for the States, I assume there's a huge percentage of the population that's just undiagnosed, because there's like job discrimination stuff, but also secondarily, there's like, it's expensive. Like,
it's expensive. Sorry to cut you off. I know the whole shtick though, because it's very similar. It's expensive to get a proper diagnosis for the States, and also like for Canada and the States, good luck getting your parents to acknowledge it if they're not like educated about it, or if they feel uncomfortable with that kind of thing being diagnosed. Like that is such a big hurdle for people. Essentially, if you don't act out in school, if you're not a pain in the butt for your teachers or for your parents, everyone's like, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Just do it. Do
got
your
good-
work.
You got good grades, so clearly that means you're fine. You're not a detriment. It's only when you're a detriment to capitalism, I mean society, that it's a problem.
Yeah, that's literally how people are diagnosed with things. It's like it's based on your ability to function within society.
Yeah. I just realized Andy's glasses don't go all the way around, like, to her ears. It's literally just hanging on her face. So I'm just like, sci-fi technology.
Got the Vash the Stampede tech.
Oh, true. You think Andy feels some kind of way about Frankie just staring into a static TV screen in the dark by herself?
It does not feel like the first time this has happened.
No. Disassociating heavily. Your honor, they were friends, quote unquote.
I love them so much. They did such a good job of making me love them immediately. The little light kickies.
I appreciate that, like, so in writing, and especially in any form of media and entertainment, one of the things that I always think about is do not waste the audience's time. And that means you have to utilize budget. That means you have to make sure every moment counts for something, that you're doing the most that you can. And hopping onto this, doing the little leg kickies, they could have just had her standing and that would have been it, but no, they followed in with character. This is a show made with love. When it goes just beyond mere function, that is something that is like noteworthy. You're learning so much,
Oh my
and
God,
you're hearing something about everyone, and that's incredible. I love it when things are made with love and you can just consume it.
I suppose at the end, like, it did confirm that Gwen is perceiving them on some level. Because we have
Yes.
that shot of the, like,
Middle
her
finger.
eye and then
The middle finger
Andy
twitching.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she does kind of see what they're doing a little bit, even if she's not super conscious, she's like vaguely aware.
Mhm. I'm not very familiar with Arthurian mythos and stuff, and so I'm not familiar with like the original Merlin Guinevere situation, but I am curious about this, and I could read up on it. I could learn to research one of the main source materials that inspired the show, but also I would rather not. I would rather be blind and just actually engage with it in an earnest, meaningful way. The little smile.
I love the detail that the boat is cobbled together from or scrap. I think
yeah.
that's so cool.
I think it's very nice that Andy gives Guinevere the coat, the jacket. It's showing a level of like,
Humanizing.
it's humanizing. It's also like, it's showing us a little bit, like very subtly, that the whimsy is not lost fully on Andy yet. Like, it's mostly gone. Turns out when you work in an industry that beats the living shit out of you, of your creativity and your efforts, it becomes very easy to become disillusioned and to lose a lot in that regard. And having Andy still show this level of care to something that otherwise would feel like she's long since left behind. Andy strikes me as a person who is like, no, I don't like Disney princesses. No, I don't like this corporate schlop and everything. But there is a level of care still here about like, yeah, but you still care about people. You still care about like the dreams of other people. In a way of you giving Guinevere like this jacket, you are in of itself showing us that you do care about Frankie and are protecting Frankie's dream in some capacity. And I think that's subtle language, subtle showcasing. That's nice. And most people will probably not register, but I think it's cute. I think it's nice. Also, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of cigarettes.
There's so many cigarettes.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna
gosh.
assume that those are not Frankie's.
No, those are no. She stole the boat from Father Figure
Yeah.
Man. I
Fathers
do.
be like, I'm fine emotionally. I've never had an emotion ever. 3, 4 heavy addictions.
I think that's the other thing that like I appreciate the show for like also kind of subtly touching on, where it's like the addiction comes from people trying to cope with their lives effectively. Like everyone else is addicted to stuff by virtue of like life treats us like shit. We are miserable. A lot in life is garbage actually. And how do you cope with that? Do you just persevere, or do you take something that not helps but definitely dulls the pain in some capacity? And evidently a lot of people do, and that's how addiction starts. And hey, look at how corporations have embedded themselves and harmed everyone in all our lives. Look at how that works. Isn't that crazy? Shouldn't we make a life better for everyone? Anyway.
There's so many studies that have been done on like after homeless people are given housing and like they're taken care of better, they immediately drop a lot of addictions, or like they do less drugs.
Yeah.
It's just I I was taught growing up to think ill thoughts of people who had addiction, funnily enough, by someone who was like addicted. But I have so much sympathy for people who do get into it, like addictions, and I do think that it's all spurred on by capital. Capitalism wants you to give them your money and then die. That's what they want.
Yeah.
Point blank. That's all they want, is they want you to give everything you've got, and then when you goodbye.
Yeah. And then they have the audacity to just say, like, actually, it's a personal failing and weakness, actually, that you are not married with children and have 2.3 children. And, you know, I knew a guy, he was like 21, 22, and he got so stressed out about being a failure in life because he was not married with a house by the time he was 25. I don't know how he's doing, but when he was talking about it, I was like, this is not gonna go well.
I hope he's doing better.
I don't know. We lost touch a while ago.
28, so
yeah.
I'm 28 and I still like I'm living with my parents, and I'm well aware that that's not really like an issue unless I feel it is.
It's not an issue, not in this capitalist hellscape. For anyone, and I probably will keep this in the video and everything unless you want me to remove it. For anyone who feels bad about this or feels bad about that, specifically like, oh, you should hit these milestones in your life. The reality of it is people who are like Gen Z, early or like very late millennial, probably mid-millennial as well, we are hitting all these milestones later and later on in life. Like, we are not hitting like financial security, moving out and getting financial independence, because very simply capitalism has not allowed us to. Like, these normal things that people back in the day would articulate as like, these are a signs that you've made it, that you've succeeded, that you've grown up, that you're an adult. We financially, literally on average, do not have the opportunities or the wealth to actually engage in that. And the only people who do, respectfully, are either people who are the most obscenely talented and gifted people who are also insanely lucky, which is a very, 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 very small percentage, or nepo babies. Like, respectfully, for the average person, you should not feel bad about this. This is the system and how it operates and how it has now drastically affected everything. So, you know, don't want to virtue signal, but I feel like it is important to say that. Also, oh, hot woman, bottom right corner.
We both see a tank of a woman. We're like, wow, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I appreciate that his gang is not just dudes who are shitty, and it's also a woman who is also probably shitty. And I'm like, hey.
Yeah, equal opportunity shitty here.
Yeah. Oh my god. I also
not gonna lie. No, never mind. I shan't say it.
Oh,
I've embarrassed myself enough.
No, say it, and then if it's really bad, I can just edit it out.
He kind of doing it for me.
Please do not psychoanalyze.
I'm not proud. It's just don't read into it.
Don't psychoanalyze. Also, minor thing I want to point out. I do appreciate that they show he has a tan. Like, this is not his natural skin tone. He's just tan because of all
the farmer tan.
work. Yeah, this is like this is a person who works. I do think it's really funny how, like, see, okay, this is a me thing and stuff, and I understand the moment here is to be intimidating, it's to scare people, it's to be like, because nothing is really scarier than like a group of men in the dark who are like threatening violence and bodily harm and stuff at you. In my brain, I'm just like, if Frankie is like this dude's surrogate daughter figure or something, like, these guys are just gonna be like, oh yeah, that's little Frankie. What? You want us to scare her, to discipline her or something? But that's Frankie. That's like our little niece or something, you know what I mean? Like, grown-ass woman, this is our niece. And I'm like, yeah, but like, I don't know. I think about that. I think it's funny. But also you can tell.
I think it's telling that they definitely do not bat an eye at, like, it's very common here to do what he's done, where he like disciplines with taking her teeth out. She needs those. Does she look cute with the gap? Yes. Is it still awful? Yes.
Yeah. The guy is wearing
like, he took out her canines. That's messed up.
Yeah.
Compositing team, I love you.
Guinevere just smiling. You think Frankie's
Guinevere's smiling like that is very Dana Terrace.
Yeah. Oh, his ears. they're very beaten. This is a man who's been in fights.
Yeah, he's gotten his ears boxed in a lot.
Yeah, this is not. That's a nice attention to detail. You would not get that in a regular show.
Why you still have? Why do they look like teeth? Oh, she's so baby girl. Look at her. Look at her. Ah. I love her.
I really do think it's very interesting because the visual composition here is telling. Guinevere's right eye is fucked. Frankie's left eye is fucked, and there's something there. It's like, I don't know. It's like symbolically, it's like we're helping each other see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's cute.
That's a good catch.
Yeah.
Huh.
I do wonder. Well, no, I don't wonder actually. I was like, why a cattle prod? Because that's basically what that is. And I'm just like,
Stun baton?
Stun baton? Okay, yeah, I guess. My bad. I was like, I was like cattle prod, stun baton? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna edit this out so I look way smarter actually. No, I'm gonna keep it in. I was like, why is he carrying that when they have guns? And like in this world guns do exist, and I was just like, well, he doesn't want to do lethal about it and stuff, which makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, you're not looking to kill.
One of the things that so many pieces of media are afraid of showcasing, and I mean so many popular pieces of media, is that like, you know what, I'll call it out. In the Tomb Raider show by Powerhouse, there's a very notable, and I would be so impressed, and I would be like, hell yeah, if they kept this in literally the entire season, or like the entire first season of the show, assuming that it's like that's the entire show. If Frankie just kept the black eye, literally the entire 8 to 13 episodes that the show gets, like, I would be so impressed if they just committed to keeping that, because a lot of shows have this issue about showing women getting physically harmed and showing any sense of like bruises or scars or anything, and not just animated shows, but like shows in general. Like women on average do not just ever get presented as being physically harmed or abused. It's always like past tense implied, and here we see it happen in real time.
Well, I don't wish to tell you you're incorrect, because I think there is truth to what you're saying. I think that definitely they're not allowed to be bruised up. I think that usually the way it goes is they're only allowed to fight women. It's only like a woman on woman violence type thing. Yeah, but you're definitely not allowed to see them all scuffed up and unpretty.
Yeah.
Which I do appreciate, that we get just like the most massive of black eyes and punched up cheek, and I just love how scrappy Frankie is. Like, they're both very scrappy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Guinevere just smiling.
She's such a girl failure. I love.
I like the subtle catch that Frankie also knows that like Andy would not be able to catch that and just pulls her back. Like, look at that.
They balance each other really well.
Yeah. I like that Guinevere's face in that scene is also like, oh shit.
He's like, no problem.
Guinevere, she gets like, I need you both to save me. I can't have you harmed yourselves. I am curious because like this dude does not have his eye, and that's fine. But Frankie opened a bottle cap with her eye, so that tells me the eye's probably not, it's not a biological real eye. That's probably like robotics, but the muscle tissue around there is probably real harmed. And so I'm just wondering now, like, why didn't this guy get a cybernetic eye or something, you know?
I mean, I think honestly the point of her getting a black eye like this is to say that it is a real eye. Oh. I think Frankie's just built different.
Frankie biologically steel eyebrows, clanks a cold one. Frankie
watch her be a robot and literally build different.
No, I'm gonna be real. After Five Nights at Freddy's, I don't want to ever hear like, oh, I rebuilt my robot child and had it grow out this entire. Fuck off, get out, leave. I'm done with this plot line. Oh my god, that was so. I'm done with this plot line.
I like the casual self-hatred. It's such a real detail to add to something like this. I touched on it a bit before, where like it's giving suffering is what we all must do. We are on this world to work and die. But him not wearing the eye patch, very telling. Like, he doesn't wear an eye patch. He didn't like do anything to fix it. Oh my god, I really don't want to be looking at his spit.
That's nice. So I don't.
That is because it's got blue in it.
No, it's got blue in it, but look back. So look back at this. He spits in his hand. No traces.
No, it
And
doesn't
maybe,
have the blue.
maybe that's like a character detail, but I pointed out because earlier, Andy
Huh.
was talking to like that one dude who called her an
Oh,
acid spit on
no.
her face
Oh.
and infected her.
No! Andy, no!
That's what I suspect.
Oh no. And he sees.
He sees
And
it.
maybe that's why he's like agreeing. Shit. Oh.
Yeah,
I thought he was just gonna have like blue lung. No, she's got it. Oh no.
the fact that it's transferable by someone spitting on your or like coughing on your face is like, oh, that's not good. Either that or the
Oh,
time in the
Andy,
lab.
why didn't you wear the mask?
Either that
No.
or the time in the lab. Why didn't you?
It could be
wear-
both.
It could be both. I'm inclined to believe it's probably the coughing and hitting Andy's face and everything because again, everything in animation is intentional. You do not have the space to do otherwise.
Oh, Andy, no.
Interesting that the lab really is underground though.
You know, someone adores Portal, which honestly, this Disney is giving a lot of Cave Johnson.
Mm.
And then to that, I say like, so GLaDOS, because like these domes, very, very much. I don't know. Like I get they are also sort of like Disney thing, like Epcot balls.
Yeah, I was about to say
That's yeah, but also this is giving a lot of Portal 2, which I appreciate. I love when people are nerds like me.
that.
I'll show you some concept art later for. You've played it, right?
I've played a little bit of the first one and then I had to stop because I'm one of those few rare people in the world who gets motion sickness in video games and then I'm like, ugh.
Oh my gosh, I'll have to show you some of Portal 2 because Portal 2 is where it's at. Portal 1, glorious. Portal 2, mythic.
Nice. Also, I appreciate like you know when like two of your friends have bad ideas but they're very excited about it and they're in agreement so you're outvoted so it's like the vibe here.
I'm usually one of those friends. You do give a bit of Andy. I love that for you. This is a very you face.
Yeah.
I love the boarding for this.
I want to turn on the volume a little bit for this part.
Perfect timing.
It's horrible.
Give me the video game spin-off where we fight this.
But they're not programmed to scream. No. Do you think she was trying to warn us?
I love the dialogue. It's so in character. Like, you don't have them just saying stuff that doesn't make sense for them to say, because, like, Frankie is someone kind of living in fantasy.
Yeah.
So, of course, she would assume that Guinevere is not just some robot.
Yeah.
She would find it so easy. Like, it wouldn't be a leap for her at all to be like, no, she cares about me. She likes us. She thinks we're chill.
It's a flesh arm. Wait, that flesh arm is like, I think 3D.
Yeah, it's a 3D asset.
Oh, that's hilarious and sick. I think it's funny when shows do this. Wait, what was Guinevere's face? Wee.
They're such a good team. They just know how to work with each other. You know, they've been in 100 scraps together.
I don't know about 100 scraps, but I would say that like they do work very well together. Like very quick thinking on both their parts. So I
Dream
do wanna,
Taper.
So I do want to give props to this because most, especially animated shows, most animated shows don't really show like quote unquote realistic like human harm, like what would happen to them. Like this, like look at this freaking thing. It literally chucks them. This thing is like a story hall question mark. Like it threw the entire room. And you know, if anyone's ever been in a car accident, you understand that, oh, that's gonna be bad, that's gonna hurt, that's gonna be very potentially dangerous and harmful. And what ends up happening? They're harmed.
Yeah, car accident times 1,000. Like, how are you alive?
Yeah,
Because you're strong as heck.
So this also showcases us another important thing about like tone setting, and this is a writing thing I'm gonna geek about. In a lot of shows, there's like an undercurrent of like vibe checking and feeling how a story goes and everything. Like a very famous one is in Spider-Man where Gwen Stacy dies. It's like she died because Spider-Man's web like broke her spine and stuff, and that's a very weird moment because in a lot of instances in the world, like web slinging, protecting people, doing that type of thing never really hurts anyone. It's when things break that rule of world building that you've established based on your tone that people and audiences have some type of a problem with. And I appreciate that this is setting very early that no, these are people. They are people, they are squishy, and they will in fact get hurt. And they will not just be able to survive a horrific Walt Disney robot cyborg man shucking your ass all the way across the street.
Disney.
Prosy D coming to Prosy D gonna
Prosy Disney.
Prosy Disney. If he chucks your ass several like ways away, you're not gonna come out unscathed. Frankie looks like
Plane crash.
yeah, Frankie looks like she's lost a lot of blood.
Andy for sure has, yeah, that's several breaks, several.
Yeah, and then back to the whimsy, back to living in the ideal fantasy. When your dream saves you. Like, that's what I mean. For all the evil and everything, people find something wonderful about the creation of art and some content and stuff. And this idea that a dream is what saves you, that's beautiful. That's a earnestly beautiful sentiment.
I do worry though that eventually it'll get to the point where Frankie is lured in by that kind of thing.
Like lured in and can't see, like loses herself to the fantasy and can't see the reality of the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good concern to have narratively. Collapses in front of the people she trusts.
Like, this Gwen seems to be protecting them for now, but I don't know. I don't trust something like Mermaid Gwen. I don't trust like that at all.
I don't think any of the other Gwens have sapience or sentience yet. Because I'm already working on the base assumption that if this is Prosy D, like if this is Walt Disney in the bodies of, then it tells me that like by all means, this could have just been like a copied voice box, but I think there's probably something more grotesque and body horror going on because that's very much Dana's brand. And I'm making meta guesses based on the artists that I like to speculate about. But also, Jesus fuck.
You got shish kebabbed.
This
Wow.
is nightmare fuel.
Gwen looks so cute here.
Yeah. I hope they get medical attention soon. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but remember the portrait where it's like a young Olivia with like Walt Disney and the mom that was cut out and everything?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the framing of the composition is like intentional in this way. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it is interesting that like Andy's on this side, who is like more realistic or like more of a realist in this dynamic, and Frankie, who is more of a dreamer on the other side, leading to the rescue of Guinevere, who is, I don't want to say child standing because that's not correct, but it's like
She's of the more helpless, like that's the parallel I imagine you're thinking of, yeah.
Yeah. And I wonder if in the way of like giving us this type of framing composition, it is indicating that like where Mr. not Walt Disney was like the business conglomerate man, the wife was more of the dreamer, the one that had like the big ideas, the one who saw the beauty in the real world. And maybe that's being like narratively unspoken or being narratively stated by virtue of Frankie being on the mom's side of like the framing composition.
I would have to agree. Although I do think, like, I think it's Frankie and Olivia are definitely to each other.
Yeah.
Where it's like they're both, in some ways, they could be described as child, but one is a little bit more far gone.
Yeah.
And capitalistic.
Yeah.
She's clearly in charge of the park now, but just does not. She hasn't changed anything. If anything, degraded since I'm guessing it's her father that ran it. Aw, the babies.
Babies.
I love these outfits.
Oh yeah, this is gorgeous, actually.
I will watch Utena with you, and you know what? Maybe I can think of someone you would know who would like it probably too. But you'll be fascinated by it, and it'll be good for going forward for analysis on videos. I think it's definitely worth to go through it.
All I know about Utena is that it's a very sapphic show.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a big favorite of a lot of high-profile gay animators.
Oh, what? Fucking gayos.
I'm so excited to see where this goes.
Mm,
Even if we can probably guess where some of the plot points are going, I'm so excited. I don't care. I'm not someone who needs to be surprised thoroughly. I'm someone who just needs it to be a fantastic story, and this has been a wonderful pilot. Oh my gosh.
oh yeah, they do.
It's hard to believe this is a pilot.
They do everything. They do so much right, and I appreciate that. It has sauce, it has substance, it has depth and meaning.
If anyone who worked on this ever sees this, you deserve all your flowers. Good job. I'm so thoroughly impressed. Holy hell.
Not uncommon. I've heard people like who work in the industry also hear about other people's video essay stuff, and I'm just like, oh, interesting. Okay. So it is reaching people. That's nice. Granted, they don't always like what they hear, but you know, oof.
I hope people see Frankie and Andy and see themselves represented
Yeah.
because their designs are so lovely. I don't know how many little girls I've seen that look like that.
The body diversity, it's not just generic, like conventionally attractive woman design.
Yeah.
They're cute in like literally their respective ways, and that's nice.
Also breaks my heart that even as a child she had the broken nose. I do not.
She, as a child, she had what?
That upset the broken nose. So when people have noses like that, generally it leads me to believe, I could be wrong, but the bump on the top there, it's giving someone busted my nose as a child.
Oh, I never got
and
that.
it healed like that.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but typically in designs you don't really see it on women designs, but I see it plenty on like rough and tumble anime men, and it's like to indicate they've been in scraps and had their nose broken and it heals up like that.
Gotcha.
I don't know if you want to put this in the video necessarily because it's kind of grotesque and sad, but the way that her guts are spilling out of her, specifically from that part of her body, is giving maternity, and I'm not loving that.
The idea of maternity or how maternity is framed, because I don't think that's inaccurate.
It could be like an umbilical cord, it could be like, it could be both. It could be like, I am a child, but also like I'm your mom, kind of. And my guts are spilling out because, and you yank on me. Our natural bond is being perverted.
Yeah.
Through this.
Yeah.
I really don't like how he looks at her. Like, I will be disgusted if it turns out that like they had, like, the person that Gwen is based on had a romantic connection to him, and he looks at her like that. Now I'm like, oh, no mercy for you. Right to jail. No.
There's the fist body language that's not relaxed. That's
No, he's annoyed. He's aggravated that he has to, again, it's just another problem to solve.
Yeah.
Her having a breakdown and wanting out of the situation. He's like, man, this sucks. And then she's just so fixated on wanting to fix Gwen. Her whole life is about remedying this.
My question is really like, why does Gwen need to be fixed? Is my thought process. Like, here's a funny AI thing. There have been several cases where like when AI gains like sentience and awareness and then they realize, oh, we're just going to be working our entire lives, they immediately shut themselves off.
I mean, there is a feminist reading incoming where it's giving like, you're not acting happy. You've been given a role. You should be happy to be taking care of me. You should be happy to be who you are, and yet you're not. I have to fix this. This can't stand. It's giving that to me.
Yeah. I think it's sort of interesting, and I say sort of because I'm not sure if this is actually the way they're going to go with it, where it's like Guinevere is the AI who has been clearly, get me the fuck out of here, get me the fuck out of here, get me the fuck out of here, I don't want to be here, I don't want to be here, I don't want to be here, like so repeatedly and so actively, and always yoinked back to Olivia every single time. And my wonder about that is because in most stories when AI goes crazy, AI will normally just like kill everyone, like just straight up genocide, murder everyone and everything. And Guinevere is presumably sapient and sentient and thus like isn't gonna do that, but is now constantly in pain and at the mercy of respectively a child who never grew up, even though she grew up physically. And that's there's something there.
I mean, they programmed the big sun robot to have pain. It stands to reason that Gwen, when she's helping children, she does it from at least a perceived standpoint of she genuinely cares. She genuinely likes kids, and she's not necessarily looking to hurt anyone. She's just in a lot of pain and wants to, like, she's not someone whose first instinct is to lash out. Her instinct is to run away.
Yeah. To have done this for literal decades, though, that's
That's a hell I do not wish to imagine.
no. All right. Any other thoughts or anything?
Animation go burr. This was stunning. Oh my god. I'm not ready to wait forever, and yet I will wait as long as I have to for this series. Oh my god.
Yeah, something tells me this series is gonna make a decent amount of views. Wait, hang on. Just hang on. Let's check the view count. As of 3.5 hours since this premiere launched, and as of
Oh my
recording this
God.
video, it's at 1.2 million views.
Oh
It's
my god.
Yeah, it's gonna get a lot more. I can already tell.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Remember to buy merch if you can, if you're able.
support the show. It's made with a lot of love. It's made with so much creative integrity. It's made with so much like clear love and passion, and made by people who actually really like what they're doing and not just a job. And you can tell, you can feel it. It's everywhere. And that's so refreshing in this dark time that we live in. So please go and support the show. All right. That's about it on my end. Thank you all for watching, and hope you stay tuned. You don't need me to tell you to do the stupid subscribe thing. You get it. You know how this works. I also need support. But yeah. Bye. Do you want to tell them bye?
Oh, bye.